Tantra word is a combination of three words, Tantra, Yantra and Mantra. Tamasic practices means the application of Tantra in the wrong way, where you want destruction of somebody for someone's victory.
So black magic would be a part of Tamasic practice?
Tantric sex is not for common people. It is for yogis wanting to arouse the energy and reach that point of enlightenment. Application of Tantra is God realization, and those methods involve Tratak exercises, a lot of breath work, there is a lot of mantra japa, strong meditations, isolation. It's akin to the Aghora practices.
Tantras which have been divided into the left hand marg, the right hand marg. Can you talk to us about this? Tantra is that it is very feminine centric. There are lots of initiations that can't happen without a woman. Women have initiated men into tantric sadhana.
When Shiva moves, then it is a feminine form, and when Shiva is static in samadhi, it is a masculine form. When tantric sadhaka attains to samadhi, when he dies, the seeds of karma, the causal body is blasted. It is dissolved completely. Then there is no rebirth.
There was Kailash Tantra, there was Shakta Tantra, there was Shaiva Tantra, Vama Marga, Sri Vidya Tantra, Aghora Tantra and the Buddhist Tantra. Can you tell me a little bit about each of these?
Most popular of them being the Shodashi or the Lalita Tripur Sundari, which is called as Sri Vidya.
Maa Gyaan Suveera is a mystic teacher and founder of the CI Plus evolutionary path with decades of experience in meditational, vibrational and oriental healing, divination and Vedic tantric studies. She has created over 50 structured programs and certifications including Mokshapata, Gyan Cowries and the 10 great incantation Dash Mahavidya.
What about occult and black magic?
Buri Nazar is science. It's a vibrational penetration of someone's envy into your aura. Why are we encouraging people to do meditation, do mantra japa? Why? Because it creates a strong auric field. We'll never allow anything negative accidentally coming or intentionally coming from outside. Sadhana related to Tantra can be done even in night. It's the darker side of the practices, especially sadhanas related to tamasic deities like Kali. The Pancha Prana Mudras are very good to practice. The Yoni Mudra for a tantric sadhak, Yoni means the womb, connects you, prana, your energy, to the core of this creation.
And Yantra?
An inverted triangle, say red in color especially, represents the whole spectrum of Devi. Upward triangle represents the Shiva principle.
Any breath work, Ma, that you can suggest for in Tantra? There's something known as the Cowrie Tantra.
Cowries are related to the Devi Shakti. It has Mahaganpati in the center and the Devi is playing around him. When somebody is asking a question, we utilize these cowries, ask them. The way these cowries fall in the Kridangan, the direction, the answers are given.
As the guiding force behind Kirti Hermitage in Rishikesh, she has trained seekers from across the world and continues to empower individuals through her courses, writings and retreats. We're excited to warmly welcome her on the Body to Being podcast, Maa Gyaan Suveera.
How can our channel, Body to Being, reach 1 million subscribers?
When most people hear of the word Tantra, they often think of sensual yoga poses, promise of cosmic pleasures. But these are the definitions that have made it to the popular culture and the cover of magazines. The real truth is that according to ancient tantric texts, only a small fraction of it is to do with sex. And the rest? They're intricate manuals on breathwork, chakras, inner alchemy and rituals. You can almost think of them as India's secret playbook on the energies. Welcome to this masterclass on Tantras. Before we begin, I have a little request. We are one of India's leading English language channels on spirituality, Sanatan Dharma and Indic knowledge. Finding authentic voices in this field is actually quite rare and challenging. So if you resonate with our vision, do consider subscribing and please share this video among your friends and family. Namaskaram, Maa Gyaan Suveera.
Namaste Shloka.
It is such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And as I was mentioning, we were discussing before the podcast, we recently came back from a Ladakh retreat. And on one of the drives, I had a fellow participant with me. And I was mentioning to her, I have an upcoming podcast with Maa Gyaan Suveera and I'm not prepared. And she's doing your class on Brahma Sutras, I believe.
Yes.
So she responded with gung ho and said, she's a universe of knowledge. You don't have to go prepared. You can ask her just about anything.
Thank you.
So it is truly a pleasure and a privilege.
Yes, absolutely mine too. It's been pending for a long time. We've been playing merry-go-round for some time and it's nice. Feels lovely to be with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Likewise. So Ma, today we're going to be talking about Tantra. Tantra remains to be one of the most widely discussed and trending topics, in the spiritual and the wellness spaces. The Western world has often reduced reduce Tantra to sexuality, right? Then there is another dimension of Tantra which is to do with black magic and occult. And there have been so many misrepresentations and misconceptions around Tantra.
Yes.
Very recently, there was a clip floating of this tantric in Odisha who was arrested for misleading villagers into fear-based rituals. So in today's masterclass on Tantra, we'd like to understand the subject from you in a lot of nuance and depth. And since it's a masterclass, we'd love for it to be anchored in real-world solutions, practical, and of course, our viewers love the mystical aspects of Tantra, so we'd love to hear that as well from you.
Yes. So it's like any other subject, experts on the subject, they have different perspectives and different opinions about every subject. The way we look at something, and that's the way we understand. So Tantra, like other spiritual subjects, also is a three-dimensional vishay. It's a three-dimensional subject where we talk about it being sattvic, it being rajasic, and it being tamasic. So the rajasic and the tamasic aspect of Tantra has become more spoken about in today's scenario. It's Kali Yuga, so you can't expect anything else, However, the sattvic aspect of Tantra is one of the most bewildering and most fascinating aspect. So tantric practices, Tantra, has evolved sometimes in the middle. It was not there in the Vedic times as much. Later it has evolved as a very fast and a sure method for realization, And the word Tantra has a original ethos as healing. That means you heal yourself holistically and reach God realization very soon. So the sattvic aspect or the best application of Tantra is God realization, and those methods involve Tratak exercises, a lot of breath work, there is a lot of mantra japa, strong meditations, isolation, and much akin to the Aghora practices and Nath Sampradayas, they are mostly into tantric rituals. So these rituals are practices, rituals, disciplines are aimed at God realization and knowing the truth.
Okay.
This is the best application, and this was the originality of Tantra, why it evolved, why it came as a practice.
How did this start? Where did it start from?
Well, these sages, rishis have been wandering into forests and isolations, and these are downloads. The universe has intelligence, widespread intelligence. The ether is widespread. There's so much of information, so much of intelligence there that you download. When you're a sincere sadhak and a seeker, you will download a method. Any method. There were oral traditions in which those who have downloaded had students and they passed on that in the oral tradition to the students. So sampradayas, tantric sampradayas have evolved over many centuries. And many of these have been deity-based. For instance, Tantra related to the Devi, Tantra related to Ganesha, Tantra related to Shiva tradition, so based on idol deities, different lineages of deities. So it evolved, and then also sometime I think in the middle centuries when there was a lot of glory, especially in India, we had a glorious period where there were kings and so much of richness, and we were a country of gold and silver, Dal par sone ki chidiya karti hai basera. We have been a culture so rich. So somewhere there the Rajasic application of Tantra started. That winning over power, winning over more glory, more money, control over land and control over masses. The Rajasic application evolved of Tantra because in Sattva there is immense possibility. When we talk about Sattva, we talk about highest potential, and viewed as a complete, it's like a seed which has tremendous potential energy. And so when we get into applications, then the applications can go into a spectrum of possibilities. So Rajasic applications were more popular than in the middle centuries where there was hunger for power, growth, land and, political power. And consequently, when there is insatiable hunger and need to control and rule, then we take help of tamasic practices also.
As?
Tamasic practices means the application of Tantra in the wrong way, where you want destruction of somebody for someone's victory.
So black magic would be a part of tamasic practices?
It is a part of it. It is 100% a part of tamasic practice. Black magic is black. So tamas itself means black actually, but the word tamas itself means dark. So the origin of tamasic practices, that means the tantra, started with finding a shortcut to realization. Finding a shortcut or finding a better way for realization, which included many healing practices, kriyas, and a combination of breath work, etc. Yantras being an intrinsic part of the tantra. Tantra word is a combination of three words: tantra, yantra, and mantra. They are like the three friends together, and they don't do any work without each other. Tantra, yantra, and mantra. In fact, the sequence is mantra, yantra, and tantra. So we have a originated mantra and a representation, iconic representation of that mantra in the form of a yantra, and these together do tantra. With these two, a tantra happens. Tantra word is so synonymous to healing. It's so synonymous. So, however, this entire combination goes in the tamasic practices. However, because of its strength and quick, effective, it's very quickly effective. Unlike traditional practices.
Would it be the quickest?
Yes, the tantric practices are very fast. They give you fast results. So because of its effectiveness, it went into the Rajasic and Tamasic corridors. In the West, like you said, that the word is synonymous to tantric sex, and that's true because the word tantra is not understood, and it is taken as it is promoted as a fastest means of arousing your kundalini and reaching the point of enlightenment. So people, there are practices, there are teachers, and there are students. The demand and supply equation is very strong. There is a demand, people want enlightenment and want to experience enlightenment through sex. And so there is a supply and a lot of teachers and a lot of courses that promise enlightenment through sex. So, which is very misleading. It's not as simple. Although it is a genuine subject in Tantra, but it is a unison and a communion between two sadhaks. So if we talk about, sexuality being an important tool in Tantra, it's not so, it is not mandatory for all tantric practices at all. Your body becomes a yantra. Like I said, mantra, yantra, and tantra, they are three together. So in what you are mentioning, in this, the body of the participant or the seeker becomes a yantra, and there is a mantra, and there is a sanctified method with which tantra happens. So tantric sex is not something it is for common people at all. It is for yogis, and yogis, those who have a sense of exploration, wanting to arouse the energy and reach that point of enlightenment. It's not something which is a commonly practiced. It shouldn't be something that is a commonly practiced thing. Ordinary people will not experience anything. They will just get into sensuality and sensual experiences.
Compulsiveness.
Yes. Addictive sensual experiences. That's it.
So explain this to me, Ma, that who are these two individuals who come together in tantric sex?
How are these two?
Who are these? How are these? What's the eligibility?
They are supposed to be, like a level of a yogi and a yogini.
Okay, but it'll always be between heterosexual partners?
Yes, because of the yin and yang factor, and because of the, there is a Shiva and a Shakti factor. There is a Bhairav and a Bhairavi factor. So essentially, yes.
I don't know whether they're branches of Tantra or names of Tantra, but there was Kola Tantra, there was Shakta Tantra, I believe is a Devi Tantra, there was Shaiva Tantra, Vama Marga, Sri Vidya Tantra, Aghora Tantra, and the Buddhist Tantra. So can you tell me a little bit about each of these?
Kola Marga is more of a Dakshina Marga.
I thought Kantara.
The
movie Kantara.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shakta tradition is very popular, very, very popular, especially in India. Buddhist and this thing, I will not be able to talk much about it because it's not my subject. Though I know that it has evolved a lot and gone into, again, many different schools. There also you have several lineages. It's like one point going and refracting into many different styles. So Shakta tradition is very common here in India, and Kali, Maa Kali taken as one of the most iconic and popular tantric Devi. Also all the facets of Mahavidyas, the Mahavidyas, each one of them is taken into a tantric tradition. We have Tantra practice, Baglamukhi Tantra, Dhumavati Tantra, Chinnamasta Tantra. There is, each of the Devis has become another cult or another path. So most popular of them being the Shodashi or the Lalita Tripur Sundari, which is called as Sri Vidya. Shri Vidya is the Shodashi aspect of the Shamaha Vidyas, and Matripur Sundari, and especially because of the composition of Lalita Sahasranama and Khadgamala, these compositions have given a very beautiful shape to the whole study and the practice. And different states have different popularities there. In the east of India you have more of Kali, Kali sects are there. South of India there is more of Shodashi, Lalita, which is very popular, etc. So Vama Marga traditions are very guhya. They're very guhya, they are very secretive. Only I think not because of any other reason, but because social acceptance of Vama Margis becomes a little difficult. So they isolate. Their practices are done in isolation and away from the
mainstream
civilized life and aranya, forest living, etc. And there are also many, even in the Vama Margis, there are many of them. They are Devi practitioners as well as Shiva practitioners. And South, it is very much popular in South. Yes, South India, it's very much popular. You have many practitioners in Kerala, Tamil Nadu.
This would be the left-hand marg, right?
Yes.
And these would include all the Kapalikas and the Aghoris?
Yeah, it's Vama Margis are not, in them also you have serious sadhaks, those who are aiming at enlightenment, but there are more players, where they want to play with the energy. And so these practices are common there. When you take them into there are more of Vama Margis into Rajasic and Tamasic practitioners. Rarely ones into Sattvic practice.
So these are the ones who also enter into cannibalism?
Yeah, some of
necrophilia?
I don't think this cannibalism and all of this was a part of the traditional religious structure. It wasn't.
Drinking from a human skull?
No. This wasn't in the traditional spiritual structure at all. These are experiments that people have done, and also blending from other cultures. There are so many other cultures that people travel, and today we have practitioners who travel and they compare maybe some shamanic techniques they incorporate into the marga that has been given by their guru, etc. So blending of different cultural aspects has happened, and how effective they are, I can't say that. I can't say that because that hasn't been my subject.
Okay. Yeah. But one often wonders, they're so gory in nature, as you mentioned. How could it possibly lead to being one with the divine?
It doesn't. They go into belief. It's like a jihadi going into belief that I can kill someone and find my heaven. It's something like that, so human mind, it's like a virus enters into the system and you don't know how the system is behaving.
So all of this would be a corruption?
It is corruption to a point.
Okay.
Anything that is touching destruction and that is spoiling the normalcy of a society, I don't consider that healthy.
Okay. And what about occult and black magic?
Yes, occult black magic, like I said, in the medieval times, sometimes probably it became more popular because there was power. And so if I have to win, I have to make someone lose. And if I want someone to lose, then I have to do something to disempower him. So it starts with power, then goes with money, then goes with, in the modern times, comes into corridors of, again, control, power, money and all. And it is I feel it is absolutely wrong, because it is nowhere touching, far, far away. Also, realization, enlightenment is not the goal. The goal is pretty much worldly,
yeah.
And it's like some kind of craziness. The practitioner himself has lost bearings with his own goal. He's forgotten his goal, and now he's got busy with all the games that he's playing here. So it's a kind of a disorder, I feel, if you ask me truly. My personal opinion, it's a kind of a disorder where you would want to encourage people to do any kind of prayogs that are disempowering people or killing or making losses to somebody. This is a disorder, mental disorder.
But there are tantrics like this existing today?
There are. You supposedly hear a lot of them. Many of them, there are.
They have the capacity to kill someone, manipulate someone's death?
It's not as common as you hear about it. I mean, when you talk to people, common people, then, you often see dialogues in the healing community, when people come to us, for instance, to sit, talk and take counsel, then somebody has done black magic on my son, or on my daughter, or they will say that somebody is after my life, or somebody wants to kill me, or somebody is after our family, somebody did something to us and we've lost everything. And so this is not as common as people talk about. Practitioners would be there because there is a subject. So if there is a subject, then there's definitely a study of it, okay? But it's not as common as people talk, and it is more of a fear. If there is one snake, at large in a colony, then everybody claims I've seen him. It's like that. So, it is not easy to do something so easily on someone. B, why would anybody do unless he really has a mental disorder?
Correct, yeah.
And C, how important are we that somebody should do black magic on just about anybody?
Yes.
On your child, on your husband, or on anybody, It's not so common.
So Buri Nazar is not something that's easily...
No, Buri Nazar is science, I would say, because it's a vibrational penetration of someone's envy into your aura.
It couldn't be just about anyone.
It just could be about anybody. Buri Nazar is not a projected energy. Buri Nazar is a involuntary vibration that is penetrating into someone.
So it doesn't happen with an intention, not necessarily.
No, that's not necessarily. And definitely you don't need to hire somebody to have a Buri Nazar. Let's say somebody is looking very beautiful. A not looking beautiful woman can have a Buri Nazar on her. She says, oh my God, she's looking so beautiful. I don't know how people are so beautiful. And if her vibes are kind of not comfortable, then it travels as a vibe into the other person's aura and can create a stomach ache or, Buri Nazar is there because of a simple reason that mind, when it thinks something, goes as a ripple. For instance, if I'm wishing good to you right now, and I have such a blessed feeling for you, it touches you. You see, it touches you. You sit with someone who really wants to comfort you, you feel the comfort. In the same way, when there is envy, jealousy of any kind, and constantly somebody is looking at someone, then that's not going to be good. The thought, the human mind, and the thought and the obsession, or the feeling of envy, or, I can't see this person so good. For example, or I can't see this person so happy. His happiness is making me uncomfortable. These are vibes, and these vibes travel as thought waves, and they enter into the other person's aura for sure.
But I may have to be vulnerable for that also, right?
Yes, if you have a strong energy, nobody can touch you, ever. You have a strong energy, which means that is where spirituality has a major role. Why are we encouraging people to do meditation, do mantra japa, or do, your regular spiritual pujas or whatever? Why? Because it creates a strong auric field. A strong auric field will never allow anything negative accidentally coming or intentionally coming from outside. It can never enter into your aura. It's like building up your immune system.
Okay. Then there are people who say I'm doing my sadhana, but let's say I'm wishing bad upon someone, or I may have had a tussle with someone. I may have yelled at someone, scolded at someone, but I'm doing my sadhana. So will that prevent karma from accumulating?
If someone says he is doing sadhana, he should understand what sadhana he is doing. A sadhana is a combination of jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, and karma yoga. If somebody is doing jnana yoga, that means he's doing shravan manan nididhyasan every day. That means he's listening to good things and imbibing them, absorbing them, assimilating them. Such a person can never think ill for anyone, So it's befooling ourselves when we say I'm doing sadhana, and because you have now convinced that I'm doing sadhana, they may be doing XYZ things together. Hodgepodge of some modern practices.
That happens.
Modern practices, traditional practices, and then you have to catch yourself. Maybe he's sincerely doing it. If he's feeling bad for someone, or if he's saying something bad to somebody, there has to be that awareness in him that this is not befitting a sadhak. When I think ill for someone, if I think ill for someone, or if I'm saying something wrong to someone out of my anger or irritation, I need to catch myself. That means there should be a deeply developed awareness. And this awareness develops, whether you want it or not want, if you're really doing your sadhana, it will develop. They say that witnessing consciousness, we call it witnessing consciousness, develops when somebody really does sadhana. Sadhana, and essentially should be, like I said, a combination of these three, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, which should include prayers, stotras, mantra japa, dhyana. It should include all. In fact, the entire Raja Yoga, Ashtanga should be included if someone says I'm doing sadhana. And okay, if not all the 8 angas, at least some of them, but the awareness is inevitable. Awareness is very important. If I am not able to understand that I am thinking ill for someone, then the sadhana is of no use. The first byproduct of your sadhana is that I develop a witnessing consciousness. That means I'm watching me all the time. There is a me in me that watches me all the time. And if I am getting angry, which as a human being one can, if I am getting angry, then there should be a me inside me that should say, why are you getting angry? I should have someone in me, I should have a witness in me who says that, no, don't get angry.
Sometimes situation demands you be rude to someone or you be harsh with someone.
Yes.
Workplace, for example.
Yes.
How does one deal with that?
Yeah, so it's like, like a mother with a child.
Yeah.
She whacks the child, but inside she loves him.
Yeah.
Inside she knows that this whacking, and she's not killing him. She's whacking him slightly. इतना मारती है कि वो hurt नहीं करता है.
Correct.
And the intention is that I want my child to behave well. I don't want my child to learn this wrong thing. So the intention in her heart is that of compassion, of training, or wanting him to be better. So if one in your day-to-day life situation, like you said, if you have to reprimand someone, if it's a help, a worker or help or subordinate or
just pull the person up.
Yeah. So it should be done. It should be done because in the work field you have to behave as a worker. So you should do it, but you must ensure that you have compassion in your heart and you're not overpouring your frustration on the person. If you overpour your frustration on the person and reprimand him because you have the authority and the other is in a lesser position, then this is going to create karma.
Okay, got it.
If there is compassion in the heart and you are a senior and you know how to set him right and you scolded him for that, the intention is the boy is very dear to me, he must learn. There's a huge difference. And in comparison to an opportunity I get to reprimand somebody because I want to shout on someone today and here is my target. There's a difference. Yes, the intention.
Got it. I came across this fascinating note in a study on Tantra that said that food, breath, and sleep are the primary gateways through which energy or Shakti can be refined or distorted. So, what is the kind of food, diet, and lifestyle that a sadhak of Tantra should be following and doing?
Tantra always embraces you the way you are, first of all. Unless it is a Dakshina Marga or a Marga which is very strict, then they have their do's and don'ts very clear. But otherwise, Madhyama Marga will embrace you as you are, where you are. And eventually with love, lot of love for the deity and love to the sadhak. The guides or the masters will take you further on the path. Like I said that your normal food, what you eat in household, sometimes people are non-vegetarian or people are having very peculiar diets. You start your journey with that. It's not that you have to leave this to enter into Tantra. It's never like that. You can start with that. But as you go on the step ladder upward, then there are things that you have to drop for any sadhana.
Such as?
Yes. Like for instance, if you're having 3 meals a day and you're used to binging in between, it's okay when you start your sadhana, you're like this. It's not a precondition that you have to have 1 meal a day if you want to start the sadhana. It's never like that. You be who you are. But when you go to step 1, step 2, step 3, then you yourself start realizing that I'm not able to finish my japa because I've eaten too much.
Correct, yes.
Or I'm not able to sit straight because I'm yawning. Or the body has gone in tamas. Extra food, excess food, bad food, rajasic, tamasic food will take one into lethargy. So long hours of chants, long hours of meditation, long hours of couplets cannot be possible with indisciplined, unmonitored food habits. So food eventually has to be balanced. And again, there are, recommended diet plans for sadhaks. Don't eat these lentils or, combination, like Ayurvedic combinations of food are there. But again, it is individual, very, very individual. You have to observe what particularly doesn't suit you. For instance, I can't meditate if I've had potatoes. My meditation goes for a toss. If I've had black lentil, it goes for a toss.
That's sensitive, is it? Okay.
So I have to observe how my body responds to the food that I'm taking. If I've had too much spice, then, how it obstructs my... And then you have to set out your own diet plans that these are the things that are not pro-meditation for me or pro-sadhana for me. And I have to avoid it. And the day I eat it, I know my sadhana is going to go for a toss.
But there are some generic foods that should be a complete no-no, right?
Sattvic food, essentially, especially on the higher levels of sadhana, food has to be sattvic. Sattvic means food which is not too spicy, not too bland. It should be in moderation. Bland is okay, but no spices. And not excess salt, not excess sugar, not excess oil.
Acha, why not salt, sugar and oil?
Yeah, no. Because anything that increases the tivrata in the body, that means aggression of any kind, for example, your blood is going at a particular pace, your prana is flowing in a particular way. So any food that alters the flow of blood, the flow of prana in your body, that either makes it hyper or hypo, such foods are not recommended. Spices, for instance, will immediately raise the energy, the metabolism, body's metabolism. Similarly, salt is not good. Too much salt is not good. Sugar is not good. These food, to a certain level of your sadhana is okay. You're eating normal food like everybody's eating. But after that, you have to respect the body's sensitivity and understand that growth cannot happen unless you bring your food in a perfect balance. And freshly cooked food, which has pranic value, old stored food, refrigerated food, packaged food, we consider them tamasic and dead food. In spiritual practices, even if it's just freshly cooked khichdi you're eating, it's enough for your body. But if you want a meal and this and that, then let it be freshly cooked. If it's cooked and kept and reheated, then you're almost eating dead food, which again your body is going to take a lot of time to digest and consume prana. So it's going to obstruct on your spiritual practice for sure.
On the path of Tantra, if I consume non-vegetarian food, is it okay? Because a lot of tantrics do.
Yeah, there are. This is a very contradictory. There's a contradiction, and there is a lot of debating on this issue. So I know of many Buddhist practitioners, and Buddhism is all about peace. And many of them, those who are non-vegetarian. Similarly, in India, we have so many places where non-vegetarian food is the staple food. They eat with rice and fish, for instance, in
Bengal,
the eastern side. Yeah, even Kerala, seafood they eat. And so for me to say that non-vegetarian food is bad is not the right thing, because it is somebody's basic food that they respect. However, again, each one to himself, If you're a non-vegetarian by birth and you're eating, there's nothing pap punya in that.
Really?
There isn't anything that is sinful in that. It's food for you. Like many other cultures in the world, it's basic food for them, non-vegetarian food. So after a while, your body is used to eating that from the time you were a small kid. So the body has gotten used to it. The intestines and stomach has gotten used to it, and they're maybe having good digestion, etc. But after a certain point in sadhana, when they start sadhana, they will start noticing themselves that the pranic energy, that the flow of the prana, the urja, what we call, inside, the energy that I feel inside the day I eat non-vegetarian, is not conducive to my practice. The realization comes on its own. It comes on its own. The apana vayu becomes excessive, because if you've eaten non-vegetarian food, it takes a long time to digest. So the apana vayu becomes more, whereas in spiritual practices, you want the prana vayu to be higher. And the samana goes into aggression, because it has to, it's
Warring.
digesting,
Yeah.
yes, the digestion. So he himself will, there are two things that happen. Either you will it and you drop it, or the body will it and it will drop it. So you one fine day, you just don't want to eat. The body will give you, just one day, you just don't want to eat. I don't feel like eating. And that's the time when the body will it. So that's why we mostly encourage people to will it. Okay, you're on this path now, you minimize and you leave. But it's not just with the non-vegetarian food, it's also with the vegetarian food. So many things in vegetarian food are not pro-meditation and pro-sadhana.
Such as?
Yeah, you have potatoes, you have all the, these vegetables that grow under the ground they're very heavy for the body system. And they need to be taken in moderation.
All the tubers are very heavy.
They're very heavy for digestion, and they create more of tamasic energy. Sometimes rajasic energy also. And whereas we need sattvic energy. That's why in ashrams, you see in most of the ashrams, they prepare bland food. There isn't any color or any spice. And also, your senses. Like they say that when you're on the path of sadhana, whether it is Tantra sadhana or any sadhana, when you're on the path of sadhana, then the more you entertain your senses, that I want to hear good music all the time, I want to see all beautiful things all the time,
Smell.
I want to smell all incenses all the time, and that means you're giving importance to your senses, and the senses then keep you occupied. If you see sadhus, if you see people who have attained higher levels of spirituality, if you see them, then they are not giving any importance to their senses. They may be sitting anywhere, it does not
matter.
Correct. It does not matter to them.
Yeah.
It's like that, So when you grow in your sadhana, you have to become aware and conscious. How much importance are you giving to your senses? And are you giving your senses indulgence? Again and again, more and more. I need candles, I can't meditate without candles, and things like that you make fuss over your senses. After all, it's a sensual fuss.
Correct.
This is the agarbatti that I use, I can't use anything
Yeah.
else. You hear people saying such things, and I need red curtains. Yeah. So there's a visual and a complete sensual preference that you want to set, and that can go on. It keeps you occupied. Senses keep you occupied. So it goes on for some time until the time that you become aware, so aware that do I require all these things for my meditation practice or for my sadhana practice? The futility of it and the engagement of it, they will keep you tied up. Senses have a basic responsibility of Maya to keep you tied up. Maya has designed senses in such a way that they'll keep you occupied. We have so much of importance on our look.
Yeah.
What we wear, how we present ourselves, how we go there. It's occupying your mind.
Yes.
So the whole goal of Tantra is to transcend all your sensual preferences and enter into that one desire, which is the most desirable desire, that you become one with the Devata.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Okay. Any meditation practice on the path of Tantra that you can suggest?
Yeah, so many styles are there, Shloka, so many styles of meditation. So people who belong to that particular sampradaya and that particular, they're obviously being guided by someone. So that person has his own style of meditating, which he normally teaches to the other. In our Ganapatya Sampradaya, the Ganesh Tantra that we follow, we have a heart-based meditation where all my students practice that. So when you talk about practices of meditation, one could, utilize a particular style of meditation, but ultimately one is self-guided. So, let's say there are some people who ask their students to focus on their breath or on a mantra that one may, we take the help of senses normally. All the meditation teachers normally take the help of one of the senses. So either it is a mantra or focusing on the breath or visualizing, something, etc. So ultimately, when the student is doing that practice every day, he is self-guided and he knows his comfort, how to slip into that state of nothingness. Every sadhak is independent, So in the Tantra school that he belongs to, there would be a particular way that he would be asked to begin the practice. However, later on, the deity takes over. The practice takes over, the deity takes over. It's like when you do your asana, you're taught to do asana in a particular way. But over a period of time, you know exactly where you need to put the pressure, or, you develop your own way, ease to enter into that state. It's just like that. So most of the people in Tantra sadhanas that I have seen either have brow-based meditations or heart-based meditations. The focus point being either the brow or the heart. And sometimes in advanced stages, the crown.
I'd like to come to the masterclass part of it. If you can please take us through any one mantra, breathwork, mudra, and visualization that maybe a sadhak who wants to get on the path of Tantra could do to burn up their karma.
To burn up their karma? Mantra, we belong to the Mahaganpati, sadhana and path. Mahaganpati is a very beautiful tantric path, and it is sattvic rajasic in nature. So, yes, it is sattvic rajasic in nature because the goal is enlightenment, and the goal is dissolving our identity into Mahaganpati. And on the journey, on the path, to set things right in your work, home, these are all your birthrights. to make peace with your life, to bring prosperity in your home, praying for health, happiness, all-round growth is a part of your journey. So that is Rajasic. So the path is for people who are in family life and so the Mahaganpati Mula mantra is a very profound mantra which has Devi sadhana included in it. The Mahaganpati Pratima, I will share the picture with you, you can share with your audience, has a Devi sitting in his lap. It's a Ganesha with 10 hands and a Devi sitting in his lap. This Devi is Shri. Shri means, it's called Pushti Devi, but the form of Adi Shakti. So he is representing universal consciousness like Shiva, and the Devi sitting is his energy, who is functioning and creating this entire world and casting Maya and creating everything that we see. So he is at the base and she is the one who is creating. So the mantra has Devi Bijakshars and the Ganesha Bijakshar, and it's a very beautiful mantra. It comes from old tantric traditions. And so we, as a part of this tradition, do Devi sadhana and Ganesh sadhana both. We have Shri Vidya also as a part of what our students practice, and also Ganesh mantra and the Atharva Shirsha Upanishad. There is an Upanishad attached to the Ganesh practice. We read the Upanishad. So it's like almost like having the whole, we cover the whole spectrum and go to the point of enlightenment. The Upanishad gives you Brahma Vidya, Brahma Gyan, and the Devi practice gives you all-round prosperity and the beauty that Devi sadhana always gives. And the Ganesha practice, removes all the obstacles and takes you into absolute oneness with a very beautiful practice. So the mantra is there, Mula mantra is there everywhere, and anyone of your audience would want, they can always write to me or can take the mantra. It's available on internet also. It has the Shreem, Reem, Kleem, and Glaum, all the Bij Akshars are there, which are very powerful, very, very powerful.
And if I may ask, how many times do you chant this mantra? What time of the day? And any prescriptions to keep in mind before you chant?
For any sadhana, it's not just about the Ganesh sadhana. The Brahma Muhurat is supposed to be the best time. You see, we have nature cycles for mantra japa. Nature cycles, the nature is moving with the guna cycle. Gunas, the trigunas are the primary rudimentary, constituents of this creation, sattva, rajas and tamas. So from morning 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. is ruled in nature by sattva. So the energy is predominantly sattvic, and therefore it is nice to do sadhana in this time. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is Rajasic, which means this is time for work. Rajas means activity, Rajas means fire, Rajas means active mind which starts already by nature. Nature, creates force in the mind, and so mind is very proactive. Productive, so doing sadhana in this time is difficult.
Okay.
Because the mind is not silenced.
Right. Yeah.
Mind cannot be silenced.
Yeah.
From 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. again there is sattva. So even evening time is good for your sadhana. Okay. Because it's sattva ruled in nature. And then from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is tamas. This time you are asked to sleep. And so sadhanas related to tantra can be done even in night.
Okay.
Yes, nature accepts it because it's the darker side of the practices, and you can do it even at night. Especially sadhanas related to tamasic deities like Kali and, these can be done at night. They can be done at night. But normal sadhana, normal people, somebody doing Krishna mantra or Rama mantra or any normal householder sadhana, should be done in this cycle. That means from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. or from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay. And yantra?
Well, the yantra is a vast subject. It's a big subject. However, when we talk about tantra, an inverted triangle, say red in color especially, represents the whole spectrum of Devi. It represents the entire Devi principle. Upward triangle represents the Shiva principle. Upward facing triangle represents the Shiva principle. Inverted triangle represents the Devi principle. So either one upward, one inward over each other, which makes a six-facet star, either that yantra or just the inverted triangle with a dot in the center is a fantastic yantra one can consecrate. on your altar. When people get into Sri Vidya Upasana, or they get into any particular Devata's Upasana with Tantra, then that yantra needs to be created. So what is a yantra? A yantra is a diagrammatic representation of that power of the deity. And who has given these yantras? These yantras have downloaded to rishis again. They have downloaded to rishis. Let's say any Ganesha. You have the Siddhivinayak Ganesh, or the so many famous temples are there. These were statues to begin with, and somebody did the sthapana of that statue there, and then it was consecrated. Pran Pratishtha was done, or Mantra Pratishtha is done, and over centuries that becomes a living god. It becomes a living god because consciousness has been invoked so much in that. So much of worship and so much of clean-hearted worship has happened that the god has become Jagrut. We use the word Jagrut. There's a word Jagrut. Jagrut means alive, awakened. The state of Jagrut means awakened. So there is a living god in that otherwise stone idol. It was a stone idol at some point, carved out of some mountain piece of stone. The sculptor made the Devi or the Ganesha, and then it was consecrated there. And then whoever has done that person had a calling to create a temple there. Some of them are Swayambhu. Some temples in India are Swayambhu. They have just come up. Like we have in our Uttarakhand, there
Kedarnath, I think.
Kedarnath is there, and so many other Devi temples are there. Vaishno Devi are there. The Pindas are Swayambhu. They have come up on their own. We have a very beautiful temple called Chandravadini in Uttarakhand. There is a Swayambhu Shri Yantra. On its own, on an inverted Kurma Prishta, on an inverted back of tortoise, there is a Shri Yantra which has come on its own from the ground.
What is Shri Yantra and Yantra? What's the difference?
Shri Yantra is specific to Shodashi, Lalita Tripur Sundari.
Okay.
It is the diagram of cosmos, because Lalita Ma is considered Adi Shakti, the one that has created this whole creation. So that's become a different path, independent path, of course, representing all the Devis. So Shri Yantra represents all the levels of creation, right from the gross level to subtler to the subtlest. At the tip of the Shri Yantra, she sits. Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari sits. So, like that, yantras are representing that power of the deity. Some of these have come from olden traditions, from Vedic times, and some have been introduced by sadhaks who are sincere and enlightened, saints, who have dedicated their lives to the deities, and they have constructed yantras, and we follow that diagram. So, when a yantra is chosen for worship, then initially it is just matter. That means it is either stone or metal. Suppose it's a plate on which some yantra drawing is. It's just a metal plate. It does not have any value. But when you get the yantra home, we wash it, we consecrate it, we start doing mantra for the yantra, we make it straight standing there, we put a tilakam in the center, and then everyday worship arti is given. Now this piece of matter now starts becoming Jagrat. Consciousness becomes alive and awake in that, and it actually represents that deity. It represents that deity. And because of that geometrical pattern which is there, which is corresponding to that deity, the energy starts playing in it. Yantra word means instrument. So why don't we call a idol yantra? We don't call a idol yantra, because there that is a shape of Ganesha or shape of the Devi. Whereas here it's a geometrical pattern. It's a geometrical diagram. And now when the energy starts getting active, it goes from vortice to vortice and it plays in that pattern, consequently generating that power of the deity. And every yantra will have a corresponding mantra.
Okay.
Every yantra will have a corresponding mantra because it is dedicated to that deity, whether it is Devi or any other deity.
So one yantra that you recommended was the inverted triangle with a dot.
Yes, that is
Where
the
can I get
simplest.
that?
That is the simplest. You can draw it.
Acha.
Yeah.
I thought it was metal plate and you needed some.
Metal plate and all, they are doing mass production, so they are making metal plates.
Okay.
They prepare a dye and they are printing it. They are, making impression order and they're selling it in the market. So there are hawkers and shopkeepers who are selling the yantras. Can I say that Devi is being sold on a ready? No.
Yeah.
We can't say that.
And they sell it like that.
Yeah, they sell it like that, but there is no God there. The yantra becomes God only when you bring it home and you consecrate it, do pran pratishtha, start worshipping, start reciting every day, then it becomes God.
But who's going to consecrate that for me?
You can do it yourself. There are vidhis, there are detailed practices. That pran pratishtha is an elaborate Vedic practice, but one can do it with intention.
Okay, intention also works.
Yes. Like for instance, I said you can draw a triangle, inverted triangle with a dot. Yeah. Now I say that this is Ma, this is Mother, this is Mother Goddess for me. I laminate it and I keep it there. I wipe it clean. I show it to the sun, moon. I show it to all the nature, and I say, Ma, please come and stay here and be with me. And I put it there. I worship her every day. She becomes alive.
Okay.
See, there is consciousness in every atom of this universe. Every atom of this universe, there is soul. There is soul, there is matter, and there is energy.
This will have soul?
Everything. Everything in this world which is tangible will have consciousness, which is soul. It has matter, that means earth, water, air, fire, ether. And it has energy. Now, non-living things, like you said, the table. We call them non-living things. The cup.
Yeah.
Non-living things. This also has soul and it has matter. But it does not have energy because it is non-living. It will live only when it has energy. Without soul, no particles, no atoms can stay together. It will fall apart. So consciousness is a binding factor. Consciousness has to be there for anything to be what it is. It has to be there. So soul is there in everything, matter is there in everything. Now suppose this cup is there. It does not have energy. It's a non-living thing. Suppose I tell this that this is the God of all the cups. And I put it in my altar. I do pran pratishtha. I start worshipping it every day. Tomorrow it will become godly. That is how the whole pratha of idol worship has evolved in India. We create a representative. Is God limited to the idol that you put there? No. God is not limited to the Ganesha that we have in our hermitage. Correct? Ganesha is much more wider, bigger. Yeah. But because that idol is there, we worship it every day. Ganesha actually is there in the idol.
The energy of Ganesha.
The energy of Ganesha. It represents Ganesha. So Ganesha consciousness is alive. Paramatma. Actually it is Paramatma. All the Devi Devtas come on a second level. Paramatma is at the highest level. What we call truly God is Nirgun Nirakar. Nirgun Nirakar Paramatma. It does not have shape, size, color, creed, nor does it belong to any country. He belongs to the whole universe. Rather, the whole universe belongs to him. Okay? This Nirgun Nirakar Paramatma cannot be seen. So, but it is the empowering system. So we have created gods and goddesses. Now he makes those gods and goddesses active. And when they become active and alive, like in a temple, like you say, any temple, Kedarnath or Rameshwaram, any temple, it is that Paramatma in its highest form over there. That's why it is active. That's why it is alive. And that's the energy that you get. In the form of that Shiva, in the form of that Devi, in the form of that Ganesha that you are worshipping. It is actually the power of Paramatma.
Can I bypass the Devis and the Devtas and go directly to the Paramatma?
Yes, all the Nirgun Upasaks. There are Sagun Upasaks and Nirgun Upasak. Sadhana can be done Nirgun or Sagun. Okay. When somebody does Sagun Upasana, then they are doing it to the Devi Devta. Sagun means with the gunas.
Okay.
That means if I am having a Ganesha or a Devi for worship, I am doing Sagun Upasana.
Okay.
Nirgun Upasaks are without any deity.
But like yoga maybe?
Like yoga, like connecting to the God, connecting to Paramatma, which cannot be seen. There is no specific name to the Devta. And they are only meditating. And they are only meditating on the Prakash. This is Nirgun Upasana. When they are only meditating on the Nada, on Omkar Nada, or they are only meditating on the sound of the universe. So Nirgun Upasana is there. People are there who do not want any deity. They want to surpass, like you said, bypass.
So if I'm, let's say, into Kriya Yoga or Raja Yoga or even Karma Yoga for that matter, is that Nirgun Upasana?
Yes, Nirgun Upasana, people say, there are many I know that say that I can't connect to any of these gods and goddesses, I connect to the light. But very frankly speaking, Shloka, it's very difficult to connect to the light. So many times, for many lifetimes, people befool themselves and they said that I am into Nirgun Upasana, and if you are able to meditate for about an hour or 2 hours and you are experienced, and who can tell me your truth? I can't tell your truth. You only know your truth. Whether you are really able to connect and really able to go into a state of samadhi without having any sadhana. Correct? Yeah. So that's why the introspection has to be done by yourself. Evaluation has to be done by yourself. Most of the people cannot connect. So they land up not doing anything. I believe in the universe. I believe in the cosmos. I believe in nature. I believe in forest. This is very good. They are close. They are close to. But when you say that they have to come into sadhana, then they have to take up something. Even if it is Nirgun Upasana, it has to be done very, very strictly and with discipline and long hours of dedication. When you see the Ashtanga Marga, in the Ashtanga Marga there is no mention of any devta.
Correct.
Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. है ना, धारणा ध्यान समाधि on whom? On the Nirgun Prakash. ठीक है ना? And if you are following the Bahiranga sadhana, you will automatically enter into the Antaranga sadhana. This is the promise of the Raja Yoga system, correct? It is perfectly for Nirgun Upasana. So it's not necessary, but it's easier marga. Sagun marga is easier marga.
But people also get caught up, na?
Yes.
मेरी बेटी की शादी करा दो.
Yeah. They get caught up into ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Also to the fact that this devta is the alone devta, there is no other devta.
Correct.
सबसे बड़ी ignorance तो ये है.
Yes.
When people start claiming that this is the only devta in Kali Yuga, if you don't worship this devta, you are dead and gone.
Yes. True that.
People get caught up in all kinds of things. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Any breath work, Ma, that you can suggest in Tantra?
Anulom Vilom is very good.
Okay.
It's very good. It's the core of all the practices, Nadi Shodhan or Anulom Vilom, whether you take a Kumbhaka or you don't take a Kumbhaka.
Okay.
The alternate nose breathing is one of the highest practices because it does the Shodhana, it does the cleansing, and it takes you into the Sushamna. See, what happens that the left and the right Nadi is hot and cold. The left nadi is cold and the right is hot, Ida and Pingala, in the meditative state when you want to practice meditation, being the core of the sadhana. Okay. If let's say your left nadi is active when you sit down for your meditation, our left and right nadis alternate every hour, approximately every hour.
Yeah.
There is predominance of the left breath or the right breath. The left breath being the cold, this thing comes connected to the moon, and the right is connected to the sun. So when you sit down for your meditation, if your left nadi is active that time, swara, we call it swara. If your left swara is active, then the body is in relaxed mode and it tends to fall asleep. You get jerks like that in your meditation. If your right side is active, Pingla is active, then it's a hyper activity nadi, so the mind is active, very active, and there is a lot of chattering of the mind. That is also not suitable. So for meditation, neither the left nor the right is suitable. For meditation, the central channel is suitable, which is Sushamna.
And how do I detect that?
How does one get into that?
Okay.
Because naturally,
Yeah.
either the left is active or the
Correct,
right is active.
correct.
And it's just for a few seconds that Sushamna is there in the interchanging period. Just for a few seconds. It's only in the deep sleep state that Sushamna is active.
Acha.
Only in the deep sleep state that Ida, Pingla both are silent and Sushamna is active, which is the state of Samadhi. Sleep is a natural state of Samadhi, they say. So now when I'm sitting for meditation, if I want my breath to go in Sushamna, the best way is to do Nadi Shodhan.
And how do I check to see if it's in Sushumna?
It will go automatically. There's no question. You do about 10 rounds of left alternative nose breathings and the breath will slip into Sushamna.
Acha.
That is the purpose of it. That is the purpose of it. You slip into Sushamna and then meditation happens bahut aaram se. It will take time. Of course, meditation is a matter of practice. It is not a matter of just this Nadi Shodhan. No. It is a matter of practice. For a long, long time, relentlessly. It's a abhyas. They say abhyasentu kaunteya vairagyancha guhate. Long practice. That means you have to just practice sitting without doing anything. Blank mind, without even trying to do meditation. Meditation cannot be done. It has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like this.
Can you please demonstrate the Nadi Shodhan for the viewers?
So it's like this. Basically, we use these two fingers, and these fingers can rest on your brow. The nostril that you close, let's say I'm breathing in from the one that is open. You breathe in, close, breathe out. Breathe in from this again. Close, breathe out. Breathe in, close, breathe out. So every time you breathe in, you close that nostril and breathe out from the other. Breathe in from there, close, breathe out from the other. You can take a gap in between. We call it a square breathing sometimes, Sabanvritti pranayam it is called, which is square breathing, where you take a inhalation, stop for a moment, then exhale, stop for a moment, inhale, stop for a moment, exhale. It's called Samanvritti pranayam. It's very good.
Okay, so this is full inhalation, full exhalation.
Full
right?
exhalation, full inhalation, and taking a bahya kumbhak and an antar kumbhak.
Okay.
That means after every inhalation, you stop for a count of 4, let's say.
Okay.
Then breathe out, stop for a count of 4, then breathe in.
Okay.
Like this.
Understood. You know, there are some individuals, one side of nostril will always be more dominant than the other. And one breath will always be, one side of the nostrils will always be blocked. What does that mean energetically?
For someone,
Yeah.
it could be that they need to let the breath flow from the one that is blocked. So one can just put in some cotton roll. I mean, if someone has this problem, if I understood you right, if someone has a problem that there's more breath coming from, let's say, one of the nostrils and the other is always blocked, then the one that is flowing should be blocked for at least about 5-10 minutes. And breathe only from the one that is blocked so that it opens up.
And if the breath is dominant in both the nostrils equally, does that mean that my breath has attained?
It's good.
I'm in
Yes,
Sushumna
it's
or-
good. But it will still have dominance, but it must be very slight.
Okay. So that's the ideal state to be,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. There's also something called visualization in Tantra. Any one visualization technique that you can tell us about?
Visualization is, it's like faking it and making it. It's like the mind and the prana are very subservient to each other, or rather, I would use a better word, they're wedded to each other, mind and your prana. So, whatever your mind sees, we envision. The prana goes towards that. That's their nature. Inner nature is you can control your mind with prana. That's why you do pranayam. When you can control your mind with the prana. And you can do healing where you want something in the mind and the prana goes there and healing. Healing and pranayam are two opposite applications of prana.
Oh,
Yes.
explain this to me, please.
Yes. It's like when you do pranayam practice in your yoga, what you're doing, you're controlling your prana, yama. You're controlling your prana. Why are you doing it? You're doing it to silence your mind. Correct? You do it to silence your mind. That means you're utilizing the tool of prana to silence the mind. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about healing, let's say, people do healing work. So, let's say my knee is paining. Suppose my knee is paining and I want to heal this. So in my mind, I take a sankalpa that I want my attention, I keep my attention here. I want all the prana to go here and I keep my hands here. And then the prana starts flowing there. So the mind can control the prana can control the mind. They're both ways, they're working both ways. So when you take this understand this deeply, whatever you envision in your mind, suppose I'm envisioning something that I'm walking on a beach, like you have a lot of these nidra practices and all, yoga nidra relaxation practices. I'm walking on a beach and my feet are in the water. Actually, the sensations are felt by the body because the prana actually gives you that feeling. It is a manifestation of the prana. So visions, whatever you visualize, can become the truth. The prana tries to make it the truth because they're always working hand in hand, mind and prana. So when you utilize this positively, this art of visualizing and making it the truth, when you utilize it properly, we give positive visuals to people. Let's say somebody is bedridden, then we say you visualize every day that you're walking, you've gotten up from the bed and you're walking. And the pranic system takes it as a command and makes the body rejuvenate it and bring it to that level of health. So visualizing is a very strong tool for all yogic practices, all healing practices. It's a very profound method. And also, consequently, I would like to mention here that people who have very strong pranic systems, if they are daydreaming and going into thoughts and dreaming negative things, understand that the prana is going there now. So it's like I almost say that every thought of yours creates a karma. Especially people with strong evolved natures who have evolved souls and who have good pranic system, body system, they understand about, they have risen above normalcy, let's say. Should be very careful about what they think. Should be very careful about what they think, what they envision, what they're dreaming, because any stupid dream, you're wasting your prana. Or let's say in your thoughts you slap somebody or you're getting angry on somebody and you're reprimanding the person in your thought, then the prana is actually going there and it's creating a karma. It's like that. Yes. So for the best visual that you can create for your bhakti and for your sadhana is to visual your deity. whichever deity you believe in, you should visualize. And that's why it's nice to have a picture. That's why it's nice to have an idol, because then that image goes and sits in your brain as a representation of Paramatma. All right. So when you visualize, what best visualizing you can do is that I'm becoming a small, tiny person, and I'm moving towards my deity, and I have dissolved into my deity.
Can Tantra or Devi Tantra help me break the cycle of life and death?
Yes, it can. The cycle of life and death is in the mind. Advaita says that cycle of life and death is in the mind. When you transcend, when you're in a state of samadhi, for instance, in a simple meditative practice, when you're in a state of samadhi and you have transcended the mind and gone into consciousness, your awareness has gone into consciousness. You're stationed there, you're beyond time. You're beyond time, beyond space. So there's no time, there's no age, there's nothing. So when a tantric sadhaka, attains to samadhi, while he's alive, let's say, a constant state of samadhi, then when he dies, there is no, the seeds of karma, the causal body is blasted. It is dissolved completely. Then there is no rebirth. There is no re-experiencing the world at all. So from a Dvaita point of view, we say that the soul is not born again. And from the Dvaita point of view, the soul was always there. But there is no another experience of life again. Yes.
Okay. Yes, you were talking about mudras.
Yeah. So mudras are, they're gestures, basically. And because we consider a mudra to be, I understand that this mudra is connected to the Devi and to the energy, it becomes like a mind program. It becomes like a brain program. And consequently, the flow of energy goes in that direction. So mudras have been given to us by rishis again and by scholars, and many practitioners have discovered mudras, and they come automatically to a sadhak. Sometimes I am sitting in sadhana and automatically my hands go like this, they may just go like this. And I would wonder why have my fingers come together. But it's just that there is some inner intelligence that takes you there. Similarly, I could be sitting and doing something and suddenly my hands become like this, These are indications that come from inside. There is a Swaguru Bodh. Swaguru Bodh means when a sadhak is doing serious sadhana, then there is intelligence that starts gleaming inside. And it's like almost a guru sitting there and giving you instructions and directions, and there's an inner voice that tells you, do this. Well, sometimes the nerves are automatically
triggered.
Yes,
yeah,
okay. And you come into a mudra. So mudras have been discovered by practitioners, and the Pancha Prana mudras are very good to practice for a normal sadhak, because all the Pancha Pranas come into a balance and they are very nice for doing. The Yoni mudra, for a tantric sadhak, the Yoni mudra is very good.
What is the Yoni mudra?
Yoni mudra is, Yoni means the womb, and the Yoni mudra connects you. You means your prana, your energy, to the core of this creation. That means to Adi Shakti. So Yoni mudra is good for energizing your body, and also to take you inward, stop distractions.
How do you do that again?
Yeah, Yoni mudra. There are very simple ways. One of the most simple way is this. The easiest of the Yoni mudra. The easiest of the Yoni mudra is like this, when you're just taking all your fingers like this and doing this. And this is pointing downward like this. This is the easiest Yoni mudra. Okay. It's a commonly used Yoni mudra. Then there is another one that people normally do it for Devi sadhana. Yes, it is like this, if you see. See, this is a very beautiful avahan for the Devi. You're giving this, it's like offering your prana to the Devi, and the Devi comes and sits in you. It's like
correct.
You're invoking the Devi inside of you.
How do you do it again?
So you take the ring fingers.
Yeah.
You take the ring fingers like this inside. Okay.
Yeah.
1 second. Here, and then
Okay, ring finger.
The ring finger you hold by the index finger.
Okay.
Put these middle fingers together.
Okay.
Take out your little finger, like this. See.
Wow.
And then
super beautiful.
This easy Yoni mudra is very nice.
Yeah.
One can sit in meditation
Correct.
with this, or you're doing any Devi prayers or any puja archana, you can sit in this. It's very nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And the benefits of this will be?
You connect to the core of the energy. You connect to straight away to the onset of energy. Inside you, we can talk about microcosm and macrocosm. Inside of you, from where the energy is sprouting. and outside of you, where the Devi begins. So it helps you to basically withdraw from the senses.
Okay.
And helps you to go inward, brings in more ekagrata of the mind.
When I was reading up, I came across, tantras which have been divided into the new classical, and then there have been the classical, and there have been the left hand mark, the right hand mark. Can you talk to us about this?
Yeah, sampradayas have come over the centuries. Sampradayas means lineages, and some teachers being very strict, some teachers being in moderation, some teachers being absolutely free. So we have the Dakshinacharya Marga, which is very strict, and they are into right hand practices, which are very highly disciplined.
And Sattvic.
And Sattvic to a point, yes, and but very strict. And they have the do's and don'ts very clear, and completely in isolation and dedication of a sannyasa life, So then we have the Madhyamacharya tradition. Madhyamacharya tradition is like moderation, practices in moderation, and many of these practitioners are grahast. That means they are leading family life.
Okay.
And so the strictness that is followed by the Dakshinacharya is not followed by the Madhyamacharya. There is flexibility. And then there is a Vamacharya, which is more like left hand, as you said, which have acceptance of Panchamakaras. Their practices are pretty much wild and very nature oriented. It's not bad, but it's nature oriented, and there is no strictness. Vamacharyas, on the other hand, Panchamakaras are allowed. Panchamakaras are non-vegetarian food, Mudras, Maithuna, that is sex, and Madira, that is alcohol. These things are accepted. And accepted does not mean they are encouraged to overindulge in them. They're accepted as a part of imperfections in a human being, which is okay. We take this in awareness and go further on the path. So they are taught to rise above that also. However, it is not, they are not rejected because of that. Vamacharyas.
So using the physical to go beyond the physical.
Yes, okay. Absolutely. And the Madhyamacharyas are, in present times, this is probably the most convenient, comfortable school, because it takes Vamacharya and Dakshinacharya, all the positive things of both the schools. And, so there's a lot of flexibility, adaptability to modern times and to, householders, people in colleges. And I mean, you can pursue parallelly another path and pursue this as a spiritual path. One thing is very sure, that if somebody wants to practice Tantra, and this is my perception personally, if someone wants to practice Tantra, he has to give himself as a ahuti into the fire, for sure. Otherwise, he won't experience anything. You have to be prepared to jump into the fire and, experience to the T. So whether it is of sattvic in nature or rajasic in nature or tamasic in nature, the person has to be completely consumed by the practice. Otherwise, he doesn't experience anything. That means there's 100% dedication. Even for sattvic practices, there are many people in Sri Vidya Upasana, where the practices are sattvic and rajasic in nature, and there is lifelong dedication. It's like a wedded lock to the deity. You are in complete wedded commitment to the deity. Till the last breath, I am in my practice. So if someone thinks that, okay, let me try Tantra for a year, 2 years, then he's not gonna reach anywhere.
Okay.
We have an Adi Kailash and Om Parvat Yatra coming up very soon. Seats are limited. If you'd like to be a part of one of the Panch Kailashes, which is nestled deep in the mystical landscapes of Uttarakhand, then you can contact us on +91 6366 852.
Suma, there's something known as the Cowrie Tantra. I honestly heard of it for the first time, and when I saw it visually, ये तो हम झुमके और jewelry में use करते हैं, and then I realized there's a greater spiritual significance and meaning behind this. And you do a course around this as well.
Yes, I
so
have a
can
course.
you take us through what is Cowrie Tantra exactly, and how is this used, and what is the significance?
Well, in the tantric sampradayas, most of the tantric sampradayas have a lot of divination.
Okay.
Divination means because they are healing in nature. All their practices are healing in nature. Tantra means healing. So there is there are a lot of question answer kind of tools that people have discovered over centuries. People use rice grains, so sometimes marbles and stones, sometimes yarrow sticks. Similarly, cowries are there. Cowries have been very famous and very popular with many of the tantric sampradayas, because this has a deep association with the Devi. That is the reason. See, any divination works with the power of our psychic mind and intuition and the energies of the devatas that we channel. Most of these are done by sadhaks. Cowries and all people don't do just like that, they are done by sadhaks. So they are connected to certain channels and certain devatas, and the answers are channeled through them. So divinations are done normally when these tantra sadhaks are living as a part of the society. Then there are some people who have some problems and they come for solutions and they come for questions and they are troubled or they are fixed in some particular situation. They come to a tantra practitioner, okay, can you help us with this? I'm in a soup or I'm in a problem. So each of these tantric sadhaks have their own divination tools, and they use them to counsel people or to help. And sometimes over a period of time, sometimes becomes a ajivika for them, that they get some donations and they get some money out of it. So it becomes supporting to their sustenance, But basically, the divination is like the play of the energy in a particular form. For instance, Cowries are related to the Devi Shakti. In our sampradaya, in the Mahaganpati sampradaya, we have a very beautiful divination. The Cowries, what we use, it has Mahaganpati in the center, and the Devi is playing around him. So when we ask questions, somebody is asking a question, we utilize these Cowries and cast them in something called a playground or a kridangan. Kridangan is a playground. We cast these Cowries in the Kridangan, and the way these Cowries fall in the Kridangan, the direction, face up, face down, and with some other Cowrie, facing some other Cowrie, or two Cowries talking to each other, the answers are given to the querent. And for us, for someone like me, this is more of experiencing the Devis. It's more like experiencing the Devis more than the application outside. That's why I am never speaking on a loudspeaker about them anywhere. I love the way the Mahalakshmi plays with the Sakhi Cowries and the Sahai Cowries. We use a set of 25 Cowries, to do the divination. One of these is a Mahalakshmi Cowrie. So she is grace. She is unbounded grace that is coming from the Rituj, that means the center of consciousness. Right in the center of the Kridangan, which is the playground, there is Shiva sitting, or consciousness sitting, it's Mahaganpati sitting there. And the Cowrie, which is the biggest and the leader of these 25 Cowries, is called Mahalakshmi Cowries. She has 4 friends, we call them Sakhis. This is Siddhalakshmi, Mokshalakshmi, Jayalakshmi and Saraswati. These 4 Lakshmis assist Mahalakshmi to show the pattern of the karma that is playing in any given situation. And there are 20 Sahai Cowries, small Cowries. They are like Sahais, like attendants. And they go to the respective areas in the Kridangan to pinpointedly say which karma is playing here and what is the consequence of this karma. So in any given situation, any question, all kinds of worldly questions people ask, they can be interpreted with these Cowries.
Okay.
Yes, but for us as sadhaks, we love the play. Okay. We just love the play.
Okay. Could we have a demonstration of this?
We utilize the Cowries. Well, a real-time demonstration should not be done in a forum like that where it is for the public, because we have rituals and we do it with a certain in a certain way. At a certain time, it's like that. And it's done with devotion. It's not a public display at all. However, I can give you some explanation.
Sure.
We utilize these 25 Cowries either in a full elaborate reading which involves all the 25 Cowries. Or there is a 9 Cowrie reading where we just take the important 5 Cowries and 4 Sahais. Or there is just a 5 Cowrie, which is a quick reading that we do, which involves 1 Mahalakshmi and the 4 Sakhis.
Okay.
So these quick readings can be done to even in a conversation, whether this will happen or not happen.
Could you do that for me right now on one question?
I could just give you a demonstration. We'll take a mock question and do it rather than doing a real question. It's like that, when we do readings, for example, we don't allow people to be there. For example, suppose I'm doing a reading with you, then you and me will sit and do the reading. The moment I have audience, my ego gets activated. Every person has an ego. We all also have an ego. Now it's a question of my reputation. You know what I mean? So your ego system being activated, the divination falls in its value. it falls in a value, because every divination is done with surrendered ego and never with an active ego. So you had this kind of divination. The Ashtamangala Cowries is a very famous Cowrie reading practice in the south, especially near Vijayanagaram, where, these are in records, in historical records. It's very close to the astrological, it goes hand in hand with astrological planetary, systems. So to do the Ashtamangala Cowrie also, the right nakshatra, the right time muhurta was seen. One cannot just do it here and there. And who is going to attend that session has to be very particular. Similarly, this, what is taught in our sampradaya, we do it with the querent, and it is done in presence of Mahaganpati, or if he is not there, we invoke him, and no audience. It's like that. So I'll give you a demonstration,
Sure.
which will be like a mock reading. Yes. So when the readings are done, then the question is asked. The Kridangan, I would love to say something about it. Now we are doing it in a thali, in a plate like this, where there is a print. There is a print of four different. You see, there are four different parts. There's a yellow part, there is a red part, there is a light blue, and a dark blue part. All right. We call this a Kridangan. Kridangan is a playground. So for someone like me who's been practicing this for a long time, I don't need this diagram. I can just spread the cloth and I can visualize this diagram there, and I can just cast the cowries and can
Mentally.
give the readings. But for someone who is training into this, we need these diagrams to understand that this Kridangan is representing the Kala Chakra. It's representing the Kala Chakra, the 24 hours of the day, spread into four parts. The Ushasi, or the yellow one, we keep it like this. The Ushasi, or the yellow one, represents the Ushasi means the morning part, where there is inspiration, where there is activity coming in the mind, and where I decide what I want to do today. Correct? So the first three categories are Ahar, Adav, and Satkriti. Talk about the early morning time, inspirational time. The red portion talks about Trikala period is the midday. That means I have dressed up, I have gone to my office, now I am right in the middle of my work. So Trikal has Bhavit, Pushpit, and Avlokan. Bhavit means work is getting done. Pushpit means work is done. And Avlokan means I am reflecting on what I have done. All right. Then the third part comes. We call it Dinant. Dinant means the day has got over.
Okay.
Now this is Rechan, Pratyaharan, Sarjan. Rechan means exhaustion. It's like a 4 o'clock time in the evening, 5 o'clock time. Aaj bas ho gaya, no more work. That when you're exhausted and when you think, okay, I just want to go back. Pratyaharan means withdrawal. You don't pick up the call. You say, मैं कल सुबह बात कर लूँगी. It's like that. Pratyaharan is withdrawal. And Sarjan means relaxing. You go change your clothes and you are now relaxing. All right. Then comes the fourth part, which is called Ratri. Ratri has Shranthan, Swapan, and Shayan.
Okay.
Shranthan means relaxation, super relaxation. I'm lying down. I have not slept yet. I'm lying down listening to some music. It's absolute relaxation. Swapan means you've gone into sleep, but you are not gone in deep sleep. And Shayan means you've gone in deep sleep. So now this kind of a playground is cast on a cloth. We can use a cloth and put the cowries, or we use this thali directly.
Okay.
And so where the cowries are falling, suppose somebody is asking me, will I get this job? And I'm using only 5 cowries. I will see where the Mahalakshmi is falling, whether she's falling. If she's falling in Ushasi, I will say, yes, grace is showering, she will get the job. And other 4, I will see whether they're face up or face down. And which of us is face up? For example, you have Siddha Lakshmi. Siddha Lakshmi means the Cowrie is telling you about accomplishment, whether it's going to be fulfilled or not fulfilled. Moksha Lakshmi will say what you need to leave for this to happen.
Okay.
Saraswati says what is the learning lesson in this errand. Right? And Jai Lakshmi means it's a victory. It's a victory. So how they are falling, where they are falling, will tell you the answer. It's like that. You see? So people use this. In olden times, people would use it for a more wiser reason, I feel, than today's short bandwidth.
And egotistical.
Yes. Will this man come in my life or not? And things like which are very petty, But earlier people would use it for a wiser, better purpose, whether this war should be done or not, and what are the ways to resolve. Can we come into a compromise? What points should be kept in mind to compromise? It can be used for bigger decisions, better decisions.
Okay.
Yes.
But how does this align with a tantric's energies? if you will?
Tantric ways, tantric sampradayas have many different parts of the sadhana. And they have been practitioners who are living in the society with the society and like to work with the society, be helpful to the society. So you have sadhanas that are very inward, complete meditation and isolation. There are sadhanas that involve mantras and rituals and celebrations also. So they do pujas, bhandaras and all. And then there are divinations. Most of the tantric sampradayas have divinations. Divination means question answers. Divination means question answers with the higher powers, utilizing some tools. Like for instance, in present day, they're using tarot cards, their divinations, rune stones, tarot cards, yarrow sticks, I Ching. So many divinations are there. We are utilizing certain things that have been divinized. See, the Cowries are not just used like this, buying from the shop. We divinize them. We declare them to be Mahalakshmi, Siddhalakshmi, Mokshalakshmi. That's why I have not taken the Cowries you have brought.
Okay.
So they have been divinized. And why the shells is a very interesting thing to understand.
Yeah.
In our Purans, as well as in many other stories, mythological stories and historical stories, these Cowries are born to the ocean. They are born to the ocean and they are a representation of Mahalakshmi. You always see Mahalakshmi showering Cowries. And therefore, in our Sanatan Dharma, in all the Lakshmi pujas, there are Cowries kept. They are representing the divine force of Lakshmi. So at a particular time, they were used like currency also. People would give Cowries in barter system. They would give Cowries, 5 Cowries, I owe you.
Futi Cowrie.
Yeah, Putti Cowrie, yes. So Cowries were representing currency also. And there is something very mystical, very magical about a Cowrie, especially the Lakshmi Cowries which we use. These are the particular type of Cowries that we use for divination. We don't use any kind of shells. So this, they have that slit. When you see a Cowrie, it has a slit.
Yeah.
If you look at this Cowrie, you see there is this face.
Yeah.
When wind blows through this, the sound that comes, the frequency and the sound that comes is Shreem. The sound of Shri. There's a whistling sound that says Shreem. Shreem is the Bijakshar for Devi, especially Lakshmi. So these are used as so the up. We call this is a face up and this is a face down.
Yeah.
The way it falls, where it falls in the Kridangan will answer the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we do a mock question?
Yes, why not? So we'll just take 5 of these Cowries and do it. So these are your 5 Cowries. This is Mahalakshmi. This is Siddhalakshmi. This is Mokshalakshmi, Jayalakshmi and Saraswati. All right. So any question, what we do is...
How can our channel, Body to Being, reach 1 million subscribers?
All right. Any suggestions? Can the suggestions, as a diviner, I am asked to chisel your question and make it more workable for the Lakshmis to play. So any suggestions that the Cowries can give me to raise our channel subscription to 1 million? All right? All right. So we play with them like this in our hand and then we... Yeah. All right, so I've cast the Cowries. Now, you see, this is the Mahalakshmi Cowrie. This says it is there in Swapan. That means you have a dream and the grace is accepting your dream. The dream for you to reach a certain number of subscribers. This dream has been accepted by the Mahalakshmi Cowrie. The Siddha Lakshmi, which is this one, is ulta on Bhavit. Bhavit means it's ulta. That means there is something that you need to do to make this working. There will be some action that needs to be done to make it. Bhavit means it's happening. All right. Pushpit means it's manifested. The process of manifestation is stopped at the moment. All right, for some reason. Moksha Lakshmi normally will tell you what stops. All right. So this one is saying this Moksha Lakshmi is then Shranthan. Shranthan means you are very relaxed. You are very relaxed, and that kind of a fire which is required. Shranthan is evening time. Can you see when you go to bed? Laid back. Itna laid back attitude say that thing cannot happen. You have to take it into the fire. Saraswati will normally tell you the suggestion.
Okay.
All right. So Saraswati is here in the Rityuj and she is there in Satkriti. Satkriti means right action. If you point by note down what are the action, these are the things that I need to do to take the subscribers higher. If you take that right action, Grace will support you and it will happen. Jayalakshmi is there in Pratyaharan. So there are certain aspects of your work that you need to withdraw from to give full-fledged attention to the work that you're doing.
Okay.
You know, these are the... Did you understand
Yes, beautiful.
the exact step by step?
Yes.
First is the sequence of the reading normally goes from Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is giving you okay because she's face up and she's in Swapan. That means she's telling you to have a good vision of it. Start envisioning. Step number 2, Siddhalakshmi. Siddhalakshmi says that it is face down and bhavit. That means action is not enough. Action is not... the manifestation process is not triggering. Why is it not triggering? Moksha Lakshmi says that get out from Shanthan. That means get out from the laid-back attitude and get on to work. That means be more systematic and schematic about how you want to grow. Write down things. Saraswati tells you the things that... she is in Rityuj here. In Rityuj, it means divine surrender. In the center there is. So do a sadhana specific to this manifestation.
Okay.
Do a Sakam sadhana specific to manifestation, and this talks about Mahaganpati. So had it been a normal situation when I'm doing this reading, I would have said that for 21 days do 11 malas of Mahaganpati to open up this channel. You know, I would give a suggestion, for example. And Jayalakshmi says that you will succeed when you do pratyahar. That means when you withdraw from certain things that are not to be done.
Okay.
So it's simple.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. What about clothing, Ma? What kind of clothing would you recommend to a Tantra sadhaka?
Should be very comfortable, breathable.
Okay.
Very comfortable, breathable. That's
Any
why
color preference?
the individual. Let that be individual. That's why you see sadhus in loincloths and, very simple, just draped dhoti. Something which is very comfortable, keeps you free. Or pajama maybe, or, a t-shirt which is like very loose. If we pay importance to clothing, then again it occupies us. I've had my personal experiences with this. I can, don't mind sharing it in a public forum, where I wanted to simplify my dressing. And the simplification also became complicated. Because when I'm turning on to whites, let's say I wanted to wear only white, certain stage of my life, then I'm having so many whites with me. Again, the wardrobe is full up of white. Now, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this kurta, I don't like this pajama, and it goes on then. So very consciously, one has to cut down on, very consciously, carefully, because human beings are like that. We are born with predominance of senses and predominance of... some people are very, we say rasik, they love music or they love the visuals and everything. And some people are dry and they are not, so they're very lucky. They don't have too much to work on. But if you are someone with good aesthetics and good colors and choices and very good taste, then it's very difficult for you to simplify. So on the path of sadhana, one has to make choices and simplify. Minimalism, that therefore is a very beautiful practice. Very beautiful practice and should be embraced at a certain stage on your path. You must embrace. That's why people make uniforms then. For instance, now it's not a headache for me to go anywhere. You just wear something and that's there every day, so there is no need for me to spend my energy in thinking what I should wear. Similarly, you simplify things. You simplify your way of living. How you live has to be... it's like pruning the tree one by one, branch after branch, to ensure that the growth is upward and not lateral.
So quickly, rapid fire. I have some questions for you. Any one tantric solution for someone who's dealing with anxiety, energy drain, and low confidence?
Breath work for sure. Breath work for sure. Nam Smaran. That means that sadhana is done Sakam and Nishkam. Sakam sadhana and Nishkam sadhana means one done with a desire and one done without desire. Without desire being the highest sadhana. Nishkam sadhana is the goal of a sadhak and is the tool of a sadhak, where he is not putting any intention but doing sadhana because he knows that Paramatma knows and I'm moving on the path. So there is no worldly desire. There is a spiritual desire but not a worldly desire. For someone who is dealing with an issue, the issue is a problem. He can't get into Nishkam sadhana, until and unless the issue. So until the issue is resolved, he should do Sakam sadhana. That means keep this intention in the mind to reduce anxiety and take up a mantra japa.
Okay.
Meditate a little with affirmative practices and breath work for sure.
Okay. Does Nadi Shuddhi work?
Yes, it works the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One tip for energy protection. How can I protect my energy?
Protect your energy. Visualize your deity. First, you start believing in it. You make an icon for the deity. If people are, see what stops you from believing in anything. One should always question. Many people say, I don't believe in this. Okay. Yeah. But can you question yourself, what stops me from believing? A Sacha Sadhak believes in everything and he feels and he believes, he is of a conviction that my Devata is there everywhere in this universe. So when someone does not believe, then he should question, who is it in me that does not believe? The answer 100% is the ego. The ego feels threatened, it does not want to die, so it creates many different obstacles, mental obstacles and reasons for not believing. So dissolving in the deity is probably the best solution. Visualize that you're dissolving in the deity. That's the best solution.
Just visualize, because I may not be in a position to do that.
Yeah, just visualize.
Okay.
And create gestures, physical gestures like bowing down and putting your head on the ground. Like when you do a sequence of a yoga asana, towards the end you are asked to, put your head down and surrender. You surrender to Dharti Ma, you surrender to Paramatma, you surrender to whichever force. The ego has to be trained to surrender.
That's why we have so many practices which is to do with bowing down.
Yeah. All of those are humbling practices.
Yeah.
You need to humble down. Simple.
Okay. Any one method to charge food and water through Tantra?
Yes. If in Tantra there are icons and there are mantras, yantras and mantras. A simple line, any iconography can be called a yantra. So you make certain preconditioned figures always. Like people are there, they make their own signs. For protection. Let's say I create a triangle. We are used to a triangle being in Devi sadhana. You visualize the inverted triangle on the glass of water. Take 2-3 deep breaths with the mantra. Blow your breath into the glass and the glass gets charged. It gets energized. Similarly, I visualize the inverted triangle big and large so that I'm sitting in the triangle and my aura gets sealed. The aura can get sealed. So the visual and the intention can become a lock and key. It can become a lock and key for protection. When we say, I want to be protected, what in you needs to be protected? Your auric energy. Your auric energy field needs to be protected. The energy, aura is a natural energy system field around you that acts like a buffer. It acts like a buffer. It acts like actually a film that protects you. And so if the aura is thick and nice, that means the inside is thick and nice. It's a reflection of your energy system, your aura. So if your aura is thick and nice, that means your inside is thick and nice. Energy system is thick and nice. So visualizing your, a symbol, any symbol that you believe in, even the Devata, the visual of a Devata, Shiva, let's say, and you're sitting in the Shiva, then who can touch you? Visualize that you're sitting in the deity, or visualize that you're sitting in the yantra, or visualize that you're sitting in a symbol, and say that nothing can penetrate me.
Okay, wonderful. What are some of the secret bindus or energy states in the body that modern people completely ignore but which tantrics awaken?
The brow to begin with.
Okay.
The kantha.
Yeah.
The points on your ears.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought these were inactive zones, right? Earring?
No, they aren't.
Oh.
So they are the entry gates into the body. These are points of entry gates into the body. That means that energy vibes can go in and come out from here. We have simple Shanti mantras like Bhadram Karni Bihi Shrunuyam Devaha. May I see auspicious things in this world. May I hear auspicious things in this world. That means our senses have got power to input, put in something. These are points in your body that need to be active, very active. That's why a lot of cleansing is done through these points. The heart point also, the point on your arms. These are normally the points where you see tantrics always putting vibhuti, or they put, gandha, ashtagandha or vibhuti. They are very active points. Similarly, so there are 50 energy points in the body. Any of these 50 points, could be charged and could be actively invoked in tantric practices.
Okay. I notice you have tattoos, and a lot of tantrics have tattoos. What is the significance behind tattoos, and even jewelry for that matter?
Well, I think this is very personal. Yes, I love tattoos. I didn't want to die without a tattoo, so I made a tattoo.
Okay. But since time immemorial, we've seen tantrics wear.
Yeah. They like I mean, I can give you my experience and my reasoning. I don't know what others go through. I have no idea. My reasoning and visiting that I would love to be painted with the name of God. I would love to be painted with the name of God and whatever has touched my heart. So the tattoo for me is an expression of what has touched my heart. So I have my Ganesha on my tattoo, and his mantra. I was in Krishna Bhakti for a long time. I have a Krishna's feather here. I think it's just a part of body decoration, and instead of putting things that are not in line with my spirituality, I put in things which are in line with my spirituality. Similarly, jewelry, people are aligned and they are attracted to certain stones and dhatus, so pancha dhatus, and they wear all kinds of things in their ears and all this. Very personal.
Okay.
There's
no tantric signal.
No, the only thought probably that could align with everyone's choices is that what makes me feel good, is what I do. Number one, what makes me aligned with the practices that I'm doing, I do that. And what makes me feel happy in my practices, I do that.
Okay, but that could also be limiting, no?
Yes, it could be limiting, but you ask me to leave anything, I'll leave anything.
Okay.
There's no attachment. A real tantric will never get attached to anything, not even his kamandal.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. There are so many self-proclaimed gurus today in the world, right? How do I know that this one is an authentic tantric guru and I can...
Your heart should tell you. Your heart should tell you there should be a calling, there should be energy rapport. There should be... And for that, you must do good prayers first. That may I be guided to the right person, and may I be... So instead of going with a lot of doubt and a self-check, something, it's better to do a lot of prayers and a lot of seeking from the universe that I want a physical guide, that would take me on the path. And then you trust your intuition.
Okay.
Yes.
Last question. Can I learn Tantra through books and through online material, or will I have to be initiated in person by a guru?
To a certain level you can, because you would have interest in this subject only when you have come a long way from previous lifetimes. Otherwise, a lot of people say this is all crap. Yeah. There are many people, good educated people, they say, what is all this?
Pseudoscience.
Yeah, pseudoscience and etc. So if you have an interest, you have an inclination, you are inquisitive, you want to read, you want to try, that means that you have something that you are carrying from your previous life, and you can try. Now, after a certain level, a guru will appear. I said, more than you seeking a guru will appear. Okay. Because if you are sincerely doing what you're doing, then the universe will embrace you, your deity will embrace you, and will take you on the path and will manifest a physical guide, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Maa Suveera, this has been such a enlightening conversation. I cannot thank you enough.
Yes.
And it's been a privilege for all of us. We've been wanting to have this conversation for long, and we're so glad that you have agreed to be a part of.
Thank you, and yes, lots of blessings to your audience and to you, to your endeavor, and may you grow leaps and bounds.
Thank you.
And may the dream that you have to touch 1 million followers be manifested.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Pleasure.
God bless.
Thank you.
In case you'd like to be a part of our online and in-person yoga, diet and spiritual programs, you can join our WhatsApp group below, where we post all our upcoming programs and give free tips on health, diet and lifestyle.